Hi, you guys. I just realized this plant is like trying to eat me over here. Sorry. I'm going to move my camera a little bit. Okay. So, I'm about to explain your last scaffolding assignment for this whole semester and what you're about to do for next week, which will be due. We'll just go ahead and extend it to next Saturday, too. The date for that. So, today's the 18th. So, the due date will be the 25th by 11:59. When you finish this scaffolding assignment for next week, you're basically going to have your entire paper ready to go. So it's going to be a rough draft that you can keep working on for another, I think, full week before the actual final paper is due. So I have this assignment Dropbox open, and here's what you're going to be turning in a week from today. So we're going to assemble the last few scaffolding assignments that you just did into a rough draft of your essay. So you can include the following 4 pieces. First is your intro and thesis that you wrote, that you're writing, that's due today, actually. So that'll be the first part of your paper. And then you'll start to put together your body paragraph. So let me explain and remind you how that works using those TDQAs from week 2. So remember, you guys, you wrote a topic sentence when you did that work with week 2. What follows immediately after the topic sentence is that detail that you pulled on week 1 but analyzed on week 2. So you pair that topic sentence and then the detail comes right after. Now here's what you need to still find. Remember that each of your body paragraphs for this essay, they're going to be focused on your primary text that you picked, Educated Fight Club or Handmaid's Tale. But remember, each body paragraph will also want to consider a source from stage 1. So what you have to do is figure out, okay, which one of those, remember stage 1 from however long ago? You're having to think, okay, which one of those sources would fit in with this particular detail for my primary text? Now, this may not go perfectly. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, you may be talking about an always ad and Fight Club in the same paragraph, and it feels kind of like not perfect, but that's okay, especially right now. So anything that you think you can use from stage 1 that pairs with that specific detail from your primary text, that's kind of what you're working with right now. So you're just thinking about pairing that stuff together. Each body paragraph is going to focus on the primary text, but it's also going to have another detail from any one of the secondary sources from stage 1. So remember, stage 1, you had 7 sources. All 7 of those do not have to be in this final paper. You can use as many or as few as you want. So like, let's say, let's just imagine your primary text is Fight Club. Let's say you want to use Handmaid's Tale in more than one paragraph. That's fine. Let's say you only use 2 of your other sources from stage 1. That's fine. Let's say you use all 7 somehow. That's fine too. There's no requirement other than each paragraph is focused on the primary source plus 1 additional source, and it can be anything off of your stage 1 list. So you have lots of, this is like, you're not really having to write anything for this, but you're having to think about pairing some stuff together that you've already written. So in this scaffolding assignment, outline the detail from the primary text you're using, and then go ahead and pull from that TDQA on the stage 1, maybe the other detail from your other secondary source. Remember, you in a body paragraph, after you provide your evidence with your detail, you do analyze with your answers. So you wrote all those answers last week on week 2 for that TDQA, so you can use those answers for your analysis. But you also wrote some analysis of that secondary source in stage 1. You can use that too. So think about this paper right here. You can use anything that you have written for this class. It's all pre-writing for this paper. So you can literally copy and paste stuff off of stage 1 if it makes sense and add it to your analysis, or the context section from stage 1. You know, all that stuff can fit in here. Again, this might feel kind of overwhelming and messy, but that's okay. This is a rough draft. You're just trying to put your ideas together. So I hope that makes sense. Intro thesis will be easy. The body paragraphs, you're going to have to let something from stage 1 get married to one of your TDQAs on that you did last week. So you're just kind of combining something there. And then you need to write your conclusion. So I gave you some very specific questions to answer for your conclusion. It's different than I've ever done in a conclusion in a 1101 or 1102 with you guys, especially those of you who've had me for a year. You've never written a conclusion like this, but I think it's easier. So I wrote some very specific sentences or very specific questions you can answer, and you can write in first person in the conclusion. Make sure you're avoiding first person throughout the rest of the paper, but if you get to that conclusion and you want to write in first person, I don't mind that. So again, the hardest part of this day or this assignment is going to be letting that TDQA from week 2 get married to something from stage 1. I know that's going to feel kind of clunky and weird. Maybe not. Some of you have really been thinking like globally from the beginning, like, and meaning that you've been thinking about that final paper since the very beginning of this class. So some of you, that stuff will kind of maybe fit together more easily, but I know others it might be kind of hard. But again, be easy on yourself. Don't stress out about this. This is a rough draft. You still have a whole week after this rough draft before the papers due. So this can be kind of messy, but you're just getting like the full form of it together from top to bottom by the end of the week on the 25th. So, of course, as always, email me if you have questions. I've been looking at some stuff that y'all have turned in early on email. I think I have a couple that I need to look at really quick right now that were emailed to me yesterday. So I'm trying to catch up on all that stuff and give you feedback. But overall, everyone who's turning stuff in is doing well. So let me know if you need anything. I'll be around this weekend, but y'all take care and I'll see you next time.